Hi, this is On It Imagination with the Healing Garden, and the noise that you might hear in the background is my daughter being loud on purpose. So, today is something that I call Self-Appreciation Day. Self-Appreciation Day is very, very important. In 2015, it was April that I started my therapy, and it got to May 13th. I wrote this blog post on one of my websites. It's still there. You can go see it. And I was just talking to my people, and it came out that, we really need a self-appreciation day. Because of my healing, I was starting to think about self-appreciation, and it's something I'd never thought about before. Self-appreciation became a massive part of my healing journey. And when I talk to people, I notice that it's a huge part of theirs as well. And it is such a vital part of our healing that I'm looking at it going, why isn't this we really need a self-appreciation day? So in 2015, I started celebrating, and every day, May 13th, since I celebrate. This became especially important for me in 2021, that May 13th, 2021. I was in the emergency room on May 10th, May 11th, May 12th. Very, very, very difficult time for me at that point. And I noticed that it was May 13th. It was coming upon Self-Appreciation Day, and it was enough that it changed my mindset. I said, no, I have celebrated Self-Appreciation Day every May 13th. This will be no exception. And that was the thing in my head that was a turning point for me. So for me, Self-Appreciation Day twice turned my life around. And it was, no matter what happens, no matter what's going on, it is a day where I pause the entire world and I say, I love you all, but fuck you. This is about me today. And when I did that, it was a sudden realization in the impact that self-appreciation can have on you. It was a day that I said, I had given up going to New York City for almost a month at that point. And after being here weekend after weekend, it was that kick in my pants that I needed to go, no, you need to get back and ride the horse. So I dragged myself. It was literally the only time I had to force myself to go to New York City, and I did. And when I did that, it completely changed everything. I started living for me. I stopped living for men. I stopped living for other people. I stopped living for the satisfaction of others. And it was a month, 6 weeks later that I met my life partner. Very, very powerful time. So here I am. It is self-appreciation again. And I always go out of my way to reach out to everybody in my circle. And I say, today is Self-Appreciation Day. It is my dream to turn this into an international holiday, just to raise awareness. And the best part is tomorrow's my birthday. So it was just a coincidence that this lands like the day before my birthday. And I'm like, yes, which is what I said in the article back in 2015 when I'm like, oh my God, what a coincidence. This is awesome. And it really is. So take the time today and really pause the world and say, I love you, but fuck you. And be selfish. I hate the word selfish. It's you are the center of your universe. And this is the first truth you must learn about healing. When you are in healing, this is the core of your truth. The core of the core of your truth is that you are the center of your universe. Now, whether or not you've owned it or claimed it, well, that's something you've got to work out. But you are the core of your universe. And if you are living as not the core, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. That is not a good place to be. Take it from someone who knows. And Self-Appreciation Day is that day where you pause and say, oh, wait a minute. I am the center of the universe. Because if you are not the center of your universe, that's not how physics works. You cannot put anybody else in the center of your universe. To do that is to turn an entire universe that is literally an ecosystem around somebody who it's not fit for. And that is really, really vital. You have a unique requirement for an ecosystem. You are as your own plant, your own fauna or I'll get this, flora or fauna, so that you can only thrive in your ecosystem. And if you are not the center of your universe, which is to say that you require your own ecosystem, then you're going to have a lot of things in you that's invasive. There's no other word for it. We're totally talking biology here, where you are going to be putting invasive species inside of your ecosystem. And being the center of the universe is you building an entire lifestyle or an ecosystem, a universe around you so that it accommodates you. And it's the removal of all the invasive species because something or somebody else is the center of your universe. And it's literally like you're you, and then they're weeds. And the weeds do not belong in your ecosystem. And it's you've got this beautiful tree growing in the, and you are that tree growing in the center of your ecosystem. And the entire ecosystem rotates and revolves around this tree that defines the ecosystem. And that the moment you have somebody else as the center of your universe, you now have an invasive species. Let's call it wisteria. Wisteria is really good for being an invasive species. So now you've got wisteria growing here, and it's going to choke out and surround everything and completely destroy you, the tree. Now, if you die, metaphorically in this thing, then your ecosystem will die. And then there will be nothing but the weed left until the weed dies. So it is really important that you are the center of your universe. And to do that, you have to know who you are. So I have oh my God, I love games. I love stories. I love games and stories, and I love puzzles. I'm huge on games, stories, and puzzles. So I have this little walkthrough that's a combination of story, quizzes, games that is literally the beginning of who are you, know who you are. Now, it starts with 2 questions, and then it branches off, and then there's 3 questions, and you can start pulling it apart. And it's a beautiful little, let's start here and let's just branch out. And then as we branch you out in this game, story, quiz, then game, story, quiz exercise, it really helps you narrow down who you are, how well you know yourself, and what that would look like for a journey, and why not having this information is so important. Because at the end of the day, you are a tree in the middle of your universe, and there is an entire ecosystem universe revolving around you. And if you don't feel that way, if you don't know this, if you don't live like this, you're going to know it. You're going to know it. It's when you're like, yeah, I am. And that's where fear comes in. That's where you end up with worry, concern. That's where you lose confidence, self-esteem. All of the bad emotions are consequences to you not being the center of your universe, bottom line. And when you are the center of your universe, that is where the state of being love exists. That's where, because love, oh my God, this is beautiful, nourishes any universe. So once you're in that center point and you know who you are, love is in abundance. It's extraordinary. But not being in that center means other things come in, other things that are highly toxic, very, very, very poisonous. There's just no other word for it. So it is Self-Appreciation Day. Take the time, and I'm not talking self-care. You can do self-care, absolutely. If that's your thing, then do it. But I am talking about really taking the time to love yourself today in any means, in any way possible. Be grateful for what and who you are. So thank you so, so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.